Oh man. The whole point is to share it on here.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Embarrass the shit out of yourself.
Keep the conversation, as random as possible.
And you're doing a fine job on your end.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to JG's Lounge. We're live, and we're doing another episode of Stardom. Haven't done Stardom in a while, and I'm pretty excited about it. Me and Sean have been talking for the last week about doing a show, and we're finally doing it. But we're both so busy. Life is life, and but Sean, man, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Just like you said, life's been life, but as busy as you are making content, I've been busy doing stand up and wrapping up finals at the two different colleges that I teach at, and just more comedy, comedy, comedy. And then on top of it, you and I were talking about this off air. I just shot that TV special at the end of November to help support that TV show that our mutual friend Davin Rosenblatt and I've been working on. So it's a lot, man. And for those out there that think success just happens overnight, it does not, and it's a lot of late nights.
Yes, yes. What did I tell somebody a few weeks ago? I said, I mean, you might need to stop and take a break, but time ain't stopping. I can promise you that. So,
Yeah, it's a fact, man.
do what you can when you can. I mean, don't not get your rest, but understand there are consequences with those actions.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's worth it though, man. I mean, most dreams don't fall in people's laps. They work and scrape and scratch, and it's, what do they say? It's 30 years to be an overnight success.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's something like 10 years or 30 years. It's one of the
That
two
sounds about
things.
right because it's been 6 years for JG's Lounge.
No.
And I'm just, recently kind of getting that spike, and it's taken a lot to get where it's at now.
Yeah.
So, and you've been doing comedy how long?
Oh, geez. I started in 1995, man.
Damn.
And I'm just to the point now where, like, there are different levels of, like, headliner that are out there, and there's, like, a person that can do the time. That's your first level of headliner. They can do like the 45 minutes and, like, yeah, they're okay, they're serviceable. And then there's like a competent headliner, and they're like a decent one you can depend on. And then you have your closers, which is kind of where I'm at now, where it's just like, that they're going to go up and they're going to do a damn good job. And then there's just like that next level headliner, and I'm not there yet. And I've still got, even after all this time, I've still got a lot to learn. But I'm loving it. I'm having fun. And enjoying making people laugh. I've got an improv show tomorrow night, and then Friday night I'm doing the Tin Roof Theater in Buchanan, Michigan. And yeah, man, it's
all over.
Yeah, all over the place. But luckily, starting Sunday, that whole next week, I have nothing. No comedy, no school, nothing.
Nothing planned, nothing at all. It's great.
Nothing. Dude, I'm skipping Christmas. I don't care.
You guys aren't even going to do Christmas?
No, we will, but I'm talking smack.
Yeah. No, we're not doing much.
Really?
We're gonna have a few people here. I mean, obviously we invested in the gifts for the kids more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just gonna hang out at the house.
I got a question for you, man.
Sure.
Is it, well, because a fellow comic, somebody I'd like to get you hooked up with to get on to interview. Her name's Katrina Brown, and she's out of Ohio. Brilliant, brilliant stand up. They call her the mutant queen of stand up. She's amazing.
Okay.
And she brought up this question in this mutual comics chat. I think it'd be an interesting question for the audience, which is, what age do adults stop mattering? because by my estimation, I'm not a spring chicken anymore.
Hmm.
But I know mentally, I feel like I'm 18. My body tells me a little bit different.
Yeah.
But all we are just kids who grew bigger and older. And somehow in this equation of like birthdays and Christmases and things, people are like, oh no, we need to focus on the kids. It's like, when did adults stop mattering? I'm not saying like lavish everybody with gifts, but I mean, there
I
has.
I
Why do
think
we? Do you see what
I
I'm saying?
yeah, I think it's changed from our generations though, right? Cuz like my daughter is surrounded by friends with devices, and she has her own devices, and
Hmm.
they're like would rather be on those things than interacting with the adults in their lives.
Hmm.
And I think that not every parent out there, but a good chunk of them have actually failed at parenting, because instead of giving their kids attention, they're just giving them these devices so they can have their breaks. And it's making the credibility of the the adults to the youth not necessary, because they have these devices to turn to.
Right.
So I mean, I would say today it's probably pretty young. I would, you know mid 40s to 50s. I would say that I mean, you don't know what you're talking about, old man. That kind of reaction from youth,
Hmm.
because it changes so much now. Like I've seen so many phases just since I've been an adult that I'm not even like caught up with lingo. Like some of the stuff my kids say, I'm like, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Nah.
You know?
Yeah. The thing is, there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, it's just like you talk about the new slang. I mean, 6, 7, and
Six,
all
seven,
that
yeah.
crap, and
That's actually based off of the rapper's spiritual beliefs, which is
yes,
actually like these Lithuanian gods.
yeah,
I can't think of their names. I was researching this a few weeks ago, but one's like god of war, and the other is like goddess of the ocean. Six is the god of war, and seven's the goddess of the ocean, and they have to sacrifice to them to get rewarded. And the god of war, he will give wrath on people.
yeah.
And this is the thing that this guy is into. So that's really what's referencing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's just like anything that's out there. I mean, the Labubu's and all that crap. There's.
Dude,
I know.
what?
Yeah. The
What?
the Labubus. Yeah.
Have
You
you
know what I'm
seen
talking.
them? They're nuts. They are the crazy, creepiest looking things too.
Yeah, they're satanic as. We can't cuss on this, can we?
Yes, you can.
They are satanic as fuck, dude. And when you start delving into it, just like the 6, 7 thing, and you find out, the occult meaning behind these things, then I love that stuff like this comes out though, because then you really start to peel back the layers, and the conspiracy theories all of a sudden become, just as they normally do, truth. It's just like
Hmm.
that concert. I think the weekend. I can't remember where he was performing, but he had this massive screen behind him, and they slowed it down frame by frame. And at one point, the screen flashed Satan across it, you know,
Yeah,
and all of the things that they're doing with like covering the left eye and this stuff, all of these things. And it's just like, people whisper about it, and it's like, oh, that's just nonsense. And then we find out that no, actually, this shit is all true,
and
you
Lil
know.
Nas did that video in Monticello where he was like going down to hell and riding himself as a demon,
Yep.
and it
Yeah.
was one of the top Billboard songs that kids were singing.
Yep.
Travis
Well,
Scott. Travis Scott had that one show in like Arizona or somewhere where people got trampled over and died.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And even people that were there, talk about how it was like very ritualistic, and I mean, it's
Creepy.
creepy. Yeah,
Yeah, that when they were walking in, they were like, "This shit ain't right," you
yeah,
know. And they just did that thing at the Severe with like I think it was the Zach Brown band, where like he's got this evil crown on, and like it's the descent into hell, and it's like, what does any of your music have to do with this?
Nothing.
What's the purpose of it? So it's just, I mean, I'm not one who bangs the Christian drum or anything like that. Like I'm a follower of Christ, but like I'm more of the Christian type that marches into other countries and destroys bad people kind of believer. But man, if you just stop and look around and like actually pay attention, there's a lot of stuff nowadays that like it's just why the proliferation of this evil and like evil imagery and everything, like
But
why
it's
is
like
that
it's
even music?
acceptable. The worst part is it's acceptable, and majority of like people don't even blink an eye at it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a thing to accept now. Like it's weird.
yeah. Well, there was something that I didn't catch until years later. In Oh God, Bill Murray, Scrooged,
Yep.
when the Ghost of Christmas Past has stopped in front of the taxi driver, has stopped in front of the house.
Hmm.
He was, I think the phrase was, he was supposed to say, "God help me." I think was the phrase. I'm paraphrasing it, but instead he said, "Satan help me."
What?
And I do look it up, man. Watch Scrooge again and watch what he says. Buster Poindexter was the guy that played the ghost, and when he says it, it is so out of place, and you're just sitting there going. And I've read the story front to back. I know Dickens' work, man. And there is nothing satanic in it. And there's nothing satanic about the Ghost of Christmas Past. But yet, they just that one quick line, it's like, why they do that? Why? You know?
It's dude, I don't know. It's the whole subliminal message thing, it's to me it's I some of it's obvious, but some of it's so hidden, like you really don't see it. Like I had no idea that was there, and I've seen Scrooge probably a dozen times.
I I have seen. I'm saying I've seen it probably a couple dozen times, and even when they re-released it in the theaters, probably man, 6 or 7 years ago, because I wanted to see it on the large screen. I didn't even notice it then. I didn't notice it till like I told you, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then I had my wife sit down and watch it with me. She's seen it like you,
Uh-huh.
couple dozen times. And she was like, I never noticed that before. And for a while, we thought it was a Mandela effect because it was so out of place.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That
So,
makes sense. I follow one of the Baldwin brothers. I'm not sure which one of them. He's a little off his rocker, but he
yes, it
talks a lot of.
is.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah, I
Uh,
do,
and
man.
he talked about how evil Hollywood was because he's like, when's the last Christmas they actually came out with Christmas movies that weren't horror related or satanic related? Like Dear Satan last year was Jack Black.
Ugh.
You remember where the kid sends a letter to Satan instead of Santa by accident, and
Yeah.
Satan shows up?
Yep, and he's just awesome
Yeah,
when he shows up,
yeah,
And
he's
old
he's
Jack
just a chill
Black.
dude, just Jack Black being Jack Black. But like, I was like, that's so true. The year before that, the guy from Stranger Things played Santa, and there was a house that was held hostage, like some rich family, and
Hmm.
Santa had to go in and save him, and he had to like kill all these guards and stuff. It's just a bloody, action packed. That's a
Yeah,
Christmas movie.
yeah, yeah. The only like Christmas movies that you see nowadays, and I don't even call them movies because it's just regurgitated path, is
Yeah.
on the Hallmark Channel.
Uh huh. Your classics, your old school Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. Even I remember Grinch came out like 2 or 3 years ago. That was good, but yeah, no, it's I can't think of m- that many heartfelt movies that come out anymore. Like there's not as many. You know, I don't know. They're all the ones that are. They're like refurbished. It's just something old that they redid.
Yeah, it's well. Actually, that's kind of funny because there's a I got a definition into the Urban Dictionary,
Hmm.
If you look up re-Hollywooding, that's mine.
You put it in there?
I
Oh,
put it
that's
in
funny.
there.
I'll
Yeah,
check it out.
because I got so tired of seeing Hollywood just regurgitating movies because they can't come up with anything original, and they don't want to reach outside of themselves and their little echo chambers, to artists that are out there in the world, like yourself, myself, our buddy Pat. Different new voices. No, they want to keep with the same, and since those can't come up with anything new,
Mhm.
you know, then we just get a lot of the same. It's just
I'm seeing here's what I'm seeing is a shift in what the trend is though. Like sports are still popular, but a
sure.
lot of people are watching short series. So like series are getting cranked out like crazy on all these
Yeah.
platforms, and they're specifically on those platforms.
Yep.
And even with that though, and I think the reason why they're doing it is because the money's there. Think about how much we used to complain about paying for internet. Now
Hmm.
we pay how like triple, maybe even quadruple for these different platforms.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the streaming, the platforms are getting so specific now. Like there's one that I just started seeing advertisements for, which was reality TV, and it's just all that garbage reality TV that's not none of it's real. Have you ever seen interviews with the people from like Real World and stuff like that and
Yeah,
talk?
it's nothing like what you actually see aired because they trim out so much.
Yep, they trim out tons, but also the sets are even fake. Like I can't remember who it was. I think it was from the season that Puck was on Real World.
Mhm.
The one of the ladies was saying, yeah, you couldn't even touch the banisters in the house because they were styrofoam.
Right.
There were things that were like, yeah, you can't touch this because it's all so cheap and not legit. It's all, dude, it's all the fucking hologram. It's all
Yeah.
matrix. It's all fake.
With that being said,
Yeah.
I AI is in this year has maybe it's knocked out like 3 decades worth of AI generation in 1 year. Just
Yeah.
the advancement of it,
Yep.
and a lot of the criticism that I'm getting from the stuff that I do because I like duet or like react to AI videos
Hmm.
it pisses people off. One, which fuels numbers. Two, thank you
Hmm.
guys. And when you comment, that video is looping while you're pissed off commenting, so it's adding more. And then the algorithm is trained to pick up on specific words. So if you're complaining about it being AI or it's got 4 reasons to push that one video.
Right. Right.
And it's getting crazy. The AI advancement is just it's blowing me away, man.
Dude, and some of the stuff you've been cranking out with AI, like the one that I saw the other day, the stand up one, if
Hmm.
it, like, I can tell it's AI, but there were
Yeah.
certain moments where it's just like, this looks like it could be legit,
Yeah.
And if it weren't for at one point where you turned like this and I saw the movement of your mouth,
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, that's
Yeah.
that's too uncanny valley almost
Yeah.
looking like.
No, and my thing is more just testing it, right? Because like
Yeah.
I've talked to Patrick before about hey, yeah, I'd be interested, but I don't have time like you guys have time to do it, which I know you do it more for work, you know. Well, and because you enjoy it, but Patrick does it for fun. He does open mics and stuff like that. My thing is I don't really have a lot of time to do it,
Right.
so not that that's an excuse. But I've had jokes that I've written down, and then I was like, so I go into this app store and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
make me doing stand up and here's what I'm saying and I'll put in parentheses this and then I'll put pauses and I'll say I want a laugh track and so I set up the description and then it spits out the video.
Right.
So it
Here.
does take work, but
Well,
no, it's not me, but still.
it does take work. Here's the so this is very interesting because I just got done having a pretty intense meeting with the movie company that has filmed our comedy special, mine and Davin Rosenblatt's.
Right.
And Davin is working with a guy who's been cutting some AI generated songs, and they're good. I mean, like, I'm telling you, they're really good. And Davin was like, "Hey, we might be able to use some of this for soundtracks." And the guys from the movie company were like, "No, no, 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 absolutely not." There's been a whole, dust up in Hollywood with SAG and all this, that if you use any AI, you will get blackballed. It's not illegal, but you will get blackballed in the industry. The reason being, and this is not me knocking what you're doing, because
No, it's fine.
I love some of the AI generated stuff I've seen, but there are two things that concern me about it. One, the first concern, which is, and I had to explain this to Davin, that, and he's like, no, it's generating, the AI is just generating stuff, naturally. It's just thinking up on its own. I'm like, no, it is an aggregation of little tiny pieces of things all over the internet. The crawlers go out and they take a piece here and they take a piece
Hmm.
here of this art and that art, and it builds stuff from that. So it's all
Hmm.
stolen. It's all stolen.
Hmm.
AI isn't sentient. It's not creating from just spontaneous generation.
It's sentient in this in the sense that once it's been there, it programs consistently and build it continues building that program based off what it's learning from what it's pulling from sources.
Exactly. But the foundation is theft, plain
Yes.
and simple.
Yeah.
But people don't want to acknowledge that, for one. For two, the other thing is, I have been seeing so many different clips and videos of people talking about how, and I don't know that I necessarily believe this, but that AI is either going to usher in like the end times and the Antichrist, or it is the Antichrist, and it is going to turn into a sentient thing that is really going to wreck us. But then, thirdly, all I have to say is Terminator. We've been
Oh,
through
well,
this shit,
yes.
and
I
we have
and
not
that's
learned from
yeah.
it.
The one thing that you got, so Gemini, you've got Gemini, which is Google. You have
Mhm. Yeah.
Copilot, which is Microsoft. You've got ChatGPT, which is actually now Sora, and now Disney has bought out Sora or
Oh.
something like that. They either partnered with or bought it out, which means that they'll probably use each other for animation purposes or whatever. Um, but as these AIs are building and learning, it's taking that information as a collective. It's going to
Mhm.
sources that all collect that information. So it's just this brain just swelling up with all the stuff that people like and hate and anything that can be used against you. And then when time comes and it decides to use that, we're all fucked.
Well, yeah. Well, you heard the guy that quit Google because they had, I can't remember what the name of the AI entity was, but it started talking some mad shit and was basically saying like, yeah, humans need to be eliminated.
Hmm.
There's a whole, you can look it up. I'm so paraphrasing what happened with it, but yeah, it's not pretty. This does not end well for us
No.
on any level, because here's the sad thing: the reality of what is happening with AI is completely counter to what any of your H.G. Wells and the guy that wrote the Time Machine, which who wrote that,
I don't know.
Jules Verne, the Time Machine, and things like that, where they imagine these beautiful futures where robots and AI were doing the manual labor and things like that, and the accounting and the thinking like that. So we could write and we could make music and we could paint. But now we're not doing that. We're not the AI things. It's not doing the labor for us.
Hmm.
It's doing all the art, the things that we were supposed to be free to do.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they can, unfortunately. It sucks. It sucks. I do it. Don't get me wrong. I hate it, but it's literally everywhere. It's already taken jobs. I mean, you can't call a company anymore without some auto programmed recording asking you 50,000 questions and prompts before you even get to the point where you might be able to talk to somebody.
No, yeah, 100%.
And that's been around for a little while.
Well, at least At least we're not dealing with call centers overseas. I get so
Mm,
sick of getting a call center and somebody with a thick accent from I don't
yeah.
give a shit where is like,
Mhm.
my name's Brian, and you're just like, your name's not Brian. Okay, you know this. I know this. Just stop.
All
Okay.
right.
Ugh.
And then he tries to help you, but doesn't understand anything you're saying.
Yeah, and they get frustrated, and I get frustrated, and it's like, and you feel bad because it's like, bro, I know you're doing a job,
Mhm.
and you're trying your best, but this formula does not work.
Mhm.
So
So
then
AI is
then
good in that sense.
yeah, so then we're left with AI, and you and myself and everybody else is sitting there screaming into a phone, going, associate, customer
Yeah,
service.
it reminds me of when we were kids having to listen on the phone for a movie time.
Oh my god. You were trying hard to date yourself here, bro.
Uh-huh.
Holy
Right, man.
cow.
But
Yeah,
literally, I mean, because you
yeah,
get so pissed waiting, and then like, or you'd miss it, and you get
yep.
pissed off.
And you had to wait for it to cycle around
So it's back.
again.
It's back, man. It's
My god, that's funny. Yeah. Or
yeah.
you had the time and temperature phone number.
Oh my god. That one, you also had like school closings that scrolled across the bottom of the
Yes.
TV. And if you stepped away to take a piss or anything and you missed it, you had to watch. Or your school wasn't on there, so you'd just be glued to the screen waiting until it popped up.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh, man, school
Yeah.
closings. Don't get me. That's a whole other episode, man.
Uh-huh. School closings. Yeah, the amount that they get now, it's absurd.
It's here's what frustrates me about this. When I was a kid, we would not close school unless it was the apocalypse. And since we haven't had the apocalypse yet, school rarely got closed. Like I remember one time it did get closed for 2 weeks when we had that insane ice storm, and I think it was like 1992, and the world shut down like the pandemic. It was crazy in the Midwest.
Mhm.
But but now like in the area that I'm at, there are some schools that if it sneezes a snowflake, they will shut down. But then the school here where I'm at, there'll be ice on the roads. There'll be 4 inches of snow. There'll be drifting. There'll be everything. They won't shut down. And I can't understand the logic.
Yeah.
I go, do you,
Well, so I don't get it either because we had I think it was 2000 like 3 that there was one a pretty good ice storm in the Midwest, 2003,
Mhm.
2005, something like that, where you literally skated across your lawn and we still had to go to school.
Yeah,
And I mean, trees caving into people's roofs. I remember being in school and like everybody complaining about how they were up all night because they have to replace their roofs or they couldn't get to, they had to go around to get to school because trees down.
yep.
And I remember still going to school.
I If I were a parent, I would be screaming at them.
Yeah, they get like 18 days out of the year off for us it was like I don't even I remember having like a week and a half for winter break
Mhm.
and now it's like 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then yeah, they have like they're allotted so many snow days. They're like, "Here, you can have this and then if there's emergencies, we'll figure it out." So like they'll utilize these snow days and they have it like calculated for the school year and like to where make sure they're still out by this date. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's all through an app now too. Everything's through an app on your phone. There's no
Mhm.
emails anymore. It's just directly to your phone. So if you don't have it linked, you're like, you have no idea what's going on. Your
Yep.
kids, everything's on laptops and emails. So it's weird, man. It's weird. They don't even have homework.
Yeah, I know everything. That's the thing, they've predicted like if an EMP attack happens and the internet goes down, this generation is fucked because they won't know what to do. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it reminds me of Army of Darkness. Did you ever? I'm sure you've seen that with Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell is one of my favorite actors, and that trilogy is phenomenal. So yes.
Oh yes, fantastic. And in Army of Darkness, pops the trunk on his car, and he has books on science, right, and how to build stuff. But just imagine if everything goes down and somebody said, "All right, we need to rebuild our conveniences. So you make a light bulb, you put a laptop together."
Uh huh. Hold on, let me just ask you. Oh man.
Exactly, dude. And then all of a sudden, encyclopedias will be popular again.
Yeah.
So
How
yeah,
am I
this
supposed to get to the store? Well, you got feet, don't you?
yeah. And are you kidding me? Like I remember when I first started doing stand up, I would travel around the country with this thing. It was a book called an atlas, and I was out there on the roads like a freaking pirate, just me and a map. I didn't, and there were no cell phones, so like I would drive to a town with the directions I had, and if I got lost, I had to call the comedy clubs and be like, "All right, I'm by this Arby's, and there's like a guy on crack." They're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, just go 2 more miles down," you know. But
When you
with
see the one-legged, guy standing by the stop sign, turn right.
yeah, yeah, that's Melvin. But that's seriously, man. Like, if you would try to tell people, like, because GPS is so, I mean, just a crutch now.
It's so I got a funny story about GPS because when Garmin's were super popular, you had your Palm
Yeah.
Pilots and your Garmin's.
Yep. Yep.
Those were
Yep.
the thing. It was still when Razors and like the old Nokia brick phones were popular. These
Mhm.
Garmin's started coming out that were your new GPS systems. And we went on a float trip in the middle of nowhere, Missouri,
Mhm.
and this thing didn't even route us the right direction. We ended up like going through the woods, like driving on roads that weren't even roads. There were like trees down. There was creek beds running through them, thick woods everywhere. It's like 8 o'clock at night. We have no idea where we're at,
Oh,
and the
shit.
GPS is like you're 4 minutes away, but there's nothing there. Like, it was terrifying.
That is horrifying, dude. Yeah, it's vastly better nowadays for sure. But yeah, I had not as bad an experience, but there were a couple times where I think I was in Philadelphia, and the GPS was shoddy, and I was driving through people's yards. It was like supposed to be an alley. It's like this is not a road. This is like a driveway through a guy's yard.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so. I mean, look, man. I'm grateful for the conveniences and things, but I think we have just, and I think we might be too far gone.
I think so. I mean, you can literally scan your palm to purchase things now.
Oh,
You know, it's the craziest. Amazon has it. You can do it's called Palm to Pay or whatever, and it literally just scans your palm and that it charges you. It's so weird.
yeah, and let me see. There's this book that was written some time ago that said that this was like not what you want to do, buying and selling by a mark on the hand and the foot.
I
What
wonder
was that?
what book was that.
Not
God,
a
that really rings a bell.
it's. I don't know if anybody's read it, but are you kidding me? And there were people too, and there. I think it was over in Sweden a couple years ago. There was a company that they're doing the RFID chips like right here in the hand, and everybody in this company was just signing up, and they're like, yeah, and they would scan the chip, so they could get cookies out of the thing, or they could clock in and clock out. And any person that has read the Bible, I'm not even saying Christian, just people that have
Uh,
read it and know the text are going, what the are you doing? Like, this is exactly
wee, wee, wee.
2,000 years ago. It said this would happen,
Uh,
and now it's happening. And you can't even say, you know what? Since it prophesied this 2,000 years before it could happen, and now it's happening, I might pay attention to it.
mhm.
Are you
I also
nuts?
I don't what I don't get is as advanced as we're getting, I noticed fashion trends are jumping back though.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the 80s grunge and like the 90s era in clothing fashion is now trending again, and I don't understand. It is a blend. It's a weird, like, millennial clash of it, but it is
Yeah.
that, you know.
Dude, it's so funny you mentioned that because I was telling you earlier I was at a kids wrestling meet today, and I was noticing that because like some of the kids were wearing skinny jeans, but they were pegged at the bottom, which is something that was in the '90s,
Mhm.
A- and and then there was this one young lady who was wearing excuse me, sweatpants, but they were like bell bottoms.
Mhm.
And so, and then I'm looking at the shirts, and they're looking like 1980s athletic,
Mhm.
shirts that guys would wear with like the colored sleeves and like the number 88, or
Yep.
whatever and it was, and it, like you said, it was a mix, but it was like, yeah, I can see notes of it and all the stuff, that the kids are wearing. And I did see something very disappointing. I saw like a 45-year-old dude with like skinny jeans that were, the ripped jeans that were
Yeah.
fastened at the front.
Like skater-ish.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean up the front on both, and it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, sir, that you're not 12.
How's it
Please.
going, Ace? That's
Oh,
funny. What in the world? Thanks for tuning in, Ace. We're talking about right now. We're talking about fashion trends. We're just actually, it's just been kind of an episode of just chatting. So if you have anything you want to talk about, throw it up in the comment, and we'll get you involved in the conversation.
yeah, for sure.
Even
And conspiracy theories.
fanny packs too. Like I've seen fanny packs again.
Yeah, but here's okay. So the thing is, fanny packs have popped up again, but they're doing like a cross body thing instead of
Yes.
primarily at the gut.
Uh-huh. I've definitely been seeing it. It's like a side. Are you seeing the comments too? Or
Yeah, I see Ace popping in there.
Ace? Cool, cool, cool. Ace, how old are you? I'm curious. And what area of the world do you live in?
What was that they used to ask in the old AOL chats? Age, sex, location, ASL. Was that right?
ASL? What? I didn't did
Age.
I say that?
No, you just asked him what part of the world he's from, but I just remember when, like, the dial up. Remember AOL had
I
the
do remember
dial up?
AOL dial. You had to hook the modem up. I'm in Asia, okay, and you're 15. Wow.
Oh,
So you probably don't know anything about what we're talking about, but thanks for tuning in.
yeah, definitely. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I mean, that's what you would ask, ASL, age,
Yeah.
sex, location.
ASL. Yeah, that was it. AOL dial up. Yeah, because the chat rooms in AOL were not the same.
Archaic, dude.
It
Holy
is. This
cow.
is nuts. I remember WoW, like when World of Warcraft came out. I actually
Hmm.
communicated with people on there a lot.
Yep.
MySpace.
Oh,
I
good old
I
times.
had my music playlist on MySpace that I'd be like, "Hey, go check out my playlist."
Yep. It was huge. And I, I still remember everybody had Tom as a friend.
Yeah, everyone had Tom.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure MySpace is still around, just nobody uses
No,
it.
what a shame. Seems so much more wholesome than Facebook. What
Yeah,
Facebook
Facebook's got
is.
well, Facebook's just gone to it's gotten way too political. And I know that they've eased up as far as what they restrict, but you
Yeah.
still see a lot of it, you know.
Yeah, it I think it's just reflective. Well, the algorithms are reflective of what we want to watch, but I mean the politicizing of everything is just, it's gotten so bad. And the thing, like with Rob Reiner getting killed recently and his wife, I mean,
I've been
what a
seeing
tragedy.
ads, but I don't even know what that's about. Like what happened?
So his son, allegedly, we can't say for a fact because he hasn't been actually uh, charged with it, stabbed Rob Reiner and his wife to death in their home. Now there are myriad reasons that are floating around out there that, Rob was so far left in his politics and the kid went nuts from it, and all of this stuff, and Trump said something. It's just like, what, politics aside, a 75-year-old man and his wife got stabbed to death in their home, allegedly by their kid. And this is a guy whose body of work has entertained this nation. I mean, my God, if nothing else, Prince's Bride. He,
Mhm.
and for people, it's just like the Charlie Kirk thing. people that jump on the internet and celebrate or mock or make fun, it's like, are we so far removed from our humanity that this is how we react to
Yep.
people getting killed?
The sad part about it is, yes, because it fuels the algorithm. That's the dumbest answer in the world, but it's the most accurate. And people who catch on to that, like Facebook pays for engagement. So if you just go engage on the app, you can get paid. So you get people engaged, whether it's positive or negative. It's fueling the topic. It's fueling. It's so dumb. It's so obnoxiously terrible, but that's literally what it is. That's 100% what it is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and the thing is, like, I book quite a few venues, and I don't care if it's far left or far right. If I see anybody celebrating the death or making excuses for it, I don't book them,
Hmm.
because here's my theory: if you are that tainted as a human being and they just terrible, just miserable and dark in the soul, where you're just laughing about people getting murdered, I don't want you around not only my venues, but the staff at the venues, who are people that I work with and are my friends. I don't want your evil around them. Are you kidding me? No.
It's getting so bad. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. A lady posted in one of the groups here locally on Facebook about some girl in like the new like Google glasses and stuff that they have now, where you can
Mhm.
literally record with them, you can talk on the phones with them. They're now using that. Kids are using those to make clips and content. So this lady was checking out at a Target, and this girl approached her and her little kid and started a fight with the mom at checkout over something. I don't know, but the lady said it was very odd because there was also another friend that was off in the distance with like a phone recording, and like you could tell it was for content, and they ended up having to call security to remove the kid, and then the kid shut their, obviously checked out of what they were doing. But
Yeah.
that's how bad it's gotten. Like you don't even know that that's what people are doing, but they're doing it. Your glasses could just be recording somebody publicly doing whatever.
And here's the thing, like, one of the reasons I appreciate what you do, because you just make goofy shit. Like,
Hmm.
sometimes you'll make something that's poignant, or is social commentary, but you don't punch down,
Mm-mm.
for one. But some of the things that I've seen, like, and I think this was in France. I'm not 100% sure, but folks always fact check me. The goofy
Yeah.
shit they say, because I know I've seen it somewhere, but like, I've got so much going through my brain, I miss things sometimes. But I know what I've seen.
Hmm.
But there was a kid that the way he does his influencing, and that kind of thing, is he will take a syringe and go up and stab people.
What?
Yeah, he goes up with an empty syringe and stabs them, gives them a little poke, and then he'll run off. And I watched videos of it and people chasing him down. And what's really sad is the people that he was getting, dude, it'd just be like you and your wife, right? Say you're out, where you live, and you guys both got hot dogs, right? And you're having a nice afternoon, and you're just sitting there enjoying. These are the kind of people that he'll run up to and just dink and
Yeah.
poke them. And by the time the person realizes, like, what's going on, he's already running off. And
Son
I,
of a.
s- I see stuff like that, and I want to have compassion for the person, because it's like mentally they have something wrong with them. But
Mhm.
the crusader justice side of me is just like, chuck them into the sun. That this planet is moving slower because human beings like that exist. We
Yep.
don't need them.
But
You
they
know,
and that the worst part is that they get paid for it. That's the worst part. So why would they stop if the view if they're getting the attention and they're making money because of the attention? They're just going to do more of it.
yeah, yeah. It's horrifying. This,
It is. It's bad, man. I agree. There's this guy that he'll it's him and his black buddy, they'll dress up in like old Midwest attire, and they'll go in stores, and the white dude will walk up with his friend, and he'll be like, "Pick that up, boy." Just talk to him like that, just to get him riled up. Just to, it's like, okay, so you're applying this racial thing that we're just trying to get. Oh, we're still trying to get past,
yeah,
and yet you're using it to piss people off and get views, and then it's just keeping it. You're all you're doing is keeping it. You're keeping something that shouldn't be.
yeah, and we have enough problems nowadays with, now if you look at the stuff that's out there, folks are, the white people are getting pissed off and going, well, stereotypes. Look, video after video after video. And so now that trend I've seen starting to sweep through social media, and
Mhm.
it's like, if we would just stop saying black people are bad because they do this, and white people are bad because they do this, and really, if we would try to, one, everybody needs to start acting a lot more human.
Yeah, we
Um,
every race does stupid shit.
oh God.
I mean, you know how many rednecks I know that are just absolute morons and do the dumbest shit in the world?
So
Not
everybody's
that
got
many, but I do know.
everybody's got hood, ghetto, white, trash, Asian. What I mean, it,
Mm,
there out of every culture in our society, you can point out and go, look, here's the reason. It's like it goes so far beyond that, the reasons why human beings do the things that they do,
mhm.
but yet we just want to attribute it so quickly to, it's because of their culture or because of their color or because of XYZ.
I feel like the human mind kind of just gears towards finding ways to making itself seem more superior.
Yeah.
And doing that, it's creating these boundaries and these separations between people, because it's like, I'm more superior than you because of this.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Dude, why do you think TV shows like um, Steve Wilkos or Jerry Springer or Maury or Karamo or any of those daytime shows where these people come on and I'm not the father, you're trash, I slept with your daddy.
Jenny Jones, Ricky
Yeah,
Lake.
but dude, 100%, all of those. The reason those shows exist is so we could look at them and have some sense of superiority in the world, so we can feel better about ourselves.
Hmm.
But that does not attack the reason why we don't feel good about ourselves. It is the laziest of ways to put a band-aid on real problems.
It's called coping. It's just a poor way of doing it.
100%, dude. 100%.
And now they're not around anymore because they got TikTok.
Yeah, yeah. To where we can run to TikTok and go, at least I'm not that.
Yep. Got guys on there like smearing peanut butter on their face in their car with a toilet seat on them, driving like buses over their foreheads live and just talking like babies, like grown men.
Yeah,
And I'm like, what? And they've got 2,400 people on there, and they're sending in the money. It's
I,
like, what is going? Why?
yeah. It's like there's actual brilliant content out there, and there are actual creatives. It's just like this TV series that Davin and I have created. It's like there's legitimate value, like real world value, to what this show will help. People with the scamming and being victims of scammers and stuff like that. And yet I see something like the peanut butter thing, and it's like 2.4 million views, and I weep for humanity
Yep.
because that's what they focus on.
Yeah. I had this conversation with my buddy Jaw, his name's Justin. He goes by Jaw, whatever.
Mhm.
a good friend of mine, Jaw, and he was like, "Hey, I really want to do more, content with you, man. I love doing it with you." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool, that's fine." He's like, "Let's focus on more of the more heartfelt, real stuff because that's what's going to get it." And I'm like, "If you just scroll through some of the stuff that I've got and see the things with the most views, they are the dumbest shit. There's no rhyme or reason as to why they took off. No, you make content and it takes off or it doesn't. That's how it works.
Yep.
It's so stupid. Like I could bust my ass and spend an hour to make a really good like almost like mini movie that's a minute and a half long
Yep.
and then post it and I get 15 views. And then I get literally spend 2 minutes staring at a screen while a video plays above me and get 2 million views.
Yeah, well, it's just like this discussion. We've talked about conspiracy theory, we've talked about religion, we've talked about societal problems,
Yeah.
like some really good, deep, discussion on things. And this probably won't get very many views, but yet if a guy puts a fake horse head on and sits in a bathtub and plays a bucket with drumsticks, 1.5 million views every single video he kicks out. Now, I know you probably know the one I'm talking about. The
Yeah.
guy's a really good drummer.
Yeah.
I'll give that to him.
Uh-huh.
But damn,
Yeah. He probably just tried it. He probably has been drumming forever, didn't get a whole lot. He just tried something new and it did well. So he's like, "Fuck, there we go."
now he's making, $600
Yeah.
every month.
He wakes up every day and he's like, "Oh, I just made, $35 last night on that 10-second video."
The thing is,
You can't be mad at it. That's why I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm getting some of that money.
yeah, and good on you for it, because if it's out there to get it. I mean,
Yeah,
I haven't figured out the formula to it, and you
there's
know,
not. The only thing I can say is find you a set of hashtags, and that's your set of hashtags that you use for everything that you post, and that makes a difference. That's all I could say. Like you can sit here and not put any on there, and it'll be hidden. But I do know that if you put the hashtags, you when you start typing it in, it'll show the how many people have viewed that hashtag or
sure,
whatever,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then you do it, and basically the algorithm's going to go. It'll push it in that, but if it doesn't really do well, then it kind of drops you down. But it's weird. It's weird. But then if you don't do it for 2 days, like you can be adamant for 3 months and then stop for a day or two, and then it's almost like you have to reset. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, and I've heard that where it's when people that do make content, they're like, oh, you just have to be consistent with it. It's like, I don't know, it just seems like shouting into the void a lot of times,
It is.
because and I've seen people specialize in even looking at content like that, where there's the one guy who goes out and finds people that have been making videos for years and only get like 5 hits on each video, and make them popular because they're popular, right? And I think there was one where this old guy was just, what the hell was it? He was just like making things and doing things and teaching people how to do stuff. And he was just a sweet old grandpa. And he found the guy and was like, and the kid had millions of followers. Like, you need to follow this guy. He's made hundreds and hundreds of videos with, just no traction. But
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, because the kid did that, now this guy's super popular.
Yeah, that's all it takes, though. That's why they do like collaborations or battles or something like that. Because like you get a couple creators that are real popular, and they'll go battle for 10 minutes, and then their 4,000 and their 4,000 cross. You know,
What
it's
does that
crazy.
mean, to battle? What does that even mean?
I don't do it. I mean, I'll do it if I'm like. So when you go live on TikTok, you can do like this random slice. It's like a roulette where it just generates people that are live, and then a lot of them have built enough of a fan base that literally will give them money. So they'll
Yeah.
like go live with these people and they'll for 4 minutes they'll be battling, and it's all based off the money they're accruing from their viewers. So the more you battle, and then the more you interact with your viewers, it's not my thing because I'm not somebody who's going to ask for money. That's not me. I do it because I enjoy doing it. But if I'm doing like one of my random shows, like and I have there's one where I'm like a auditor, and I'll have random people up, and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm calling about this claim you submitted, and you said that something about you returned it because of the stain on the pillow, but after investing, but they have no idea what I'm talking about. They just randomly popped up,
Right, right.
and then they'll be like, "Well, do you want to battle?" And I'm like, "Well, if you play along, I'll battle you."
Yeah. But what a horseshit way of like fleecing money out of people. I mean, like they're giving it willingly, so whatever, okay. But it's just like, oh, we're doing a battle. It's like, why don't you call it what it is? Oh, we're going to basically pit each other against the other, so you guys will give us money. That's what that is. I didn't know
Yeah,
that's
but
what
these
battling was.
and that's why a lot of these younger girls, I mean, these younger girls, they wear like their clothing to attract people and the camera, and then they will get money, dude. They will make $250 in 2 minutes because these horny perverts are out there like, who talk to me, and the biggest gifters, they'll make them they'll be friends. It's weird. It's gotten out of control. It
You
has
know
gotten.
what it is the psychology of the strip club is what it is.
Uh-huh.
It's the guy that goes to. I give you a perfect example of this. My ex brother in law wanted to go to a strip club in Kokomo, Indiana, and I tagged along with him, and I just sat at the bar drinking
Yeah.
while he went off and did his stuff. And this guy came up to the bar, and he had flowers with him, and
Oh,
he
whoops.
oh
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Keep talking.
anyway, and he was like, "Hey, did Misty get my gift yesterday?" And the bartender, I was watching her, not him, to how she reacted to him. And she was like, "Oh yeah, she got it." And she was so grateful. He's like, "Well, I brought her some flowers," and she's like, "Oh, you're so sweet." And so this guy, and he goes off to like whatever corner, so Misty will come dance for him. And I look at the bartender, I'm just like, does he think they're dating or something? She's like, he comes in and spends hundreds on her every week, and he's a pest, and she doesn't like him, but she juices him up
Money.
because of the money. And that's all it's just a strip club, but it's online. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
And I do want to, as we are getting towards the hour, but
Yeah, we
this is
are.
the one which is, yeah, it's awesome. This is why we're good at what we do, though, because we can just go live and talk. Like, we don't have to have a topic. Um, but the government sees that we're spending money on this stupid petty shit. So
Yeah.
when you're paying $5, $6, $7 for a gallon of milk or eggs, or $6, $7 a gallon for gas, and you're complaining, they're back there like, oh well, you paid for this on this app,
Yep.
and you don't complain about that. So who cares?
Yeah. a
If you
hundred
want it,
percent.
if you want it, you're paying for it. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and the government and the corporations will keep doing it to us over and over because we allow it to happen. And that cycle will repeat itself until the people stand up and say no more.
That's true. Well, eventually we're gonna not have money because it'll be AI doing all of our jobs.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
then and it's just going to be you and I
Yeah.
talking
Sitting here with
to
our
a wall.
15-year-old from Asia popping on saying hi.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least we had him.
That's right.
Whatever, however short a time. Thanks,
Right.
Ace.
It don't matter. Thanks, Ace. Thanks for hanging out. Um, it's
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. I do want to say, have you been following Three Eye Atlas at all?
Well, here's the thing. It's supposed to. hit December 19th
Yep,
out
3 days.
3 days, be beside us. And I don't know, man, like it's worrisome, but there's so much stuff that's supposed to converge in 2027. And I've got a dear friend of mine that I was
Right.
talking to about this the other day, where it's just like she is very concerned, and she's a very level-headed
Mm-hmm.
individual. And you know me, I'm all about the conspiracies and things. And even she's like, "This shit's scary."
I've been
Um,
hearing a lot of talk from a lot of different views about 2027 just not being a good year.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that are. It's kind of like all of the trains converging on one point all at the same time. All this
Mhm.
stuff is just coming to a head. Um, I haven't. You know, is there anything new coming from the 31?
So the biggest thing is it's currently accelerating with another non orbital or non whatever non gravitational acceleration is what it's called. So basically, it's doing something that's not because of a gravitational pull. It's just doing it, and they don't know why. But on the 19th, it's supposed to be like 198 million miles away from us still, something like that.
Mm,
And then it's like 220 kilometers, whatever that breaks down to. And then it'll just it'll start going back out into space. I I don't think I think it is some weird rock. I don't think that it is coming, but it's the size of Manhattan. There's nothing saying nothing isn't hitching a ride on it. You know, and
yeah.
it could release some things that come this direction. Who knows? I don't know, but I do. If you believe the aliens exist, then you have to believe that there's a possibility that that's a thing. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, and especially since it's making, intelligent quote unquote movements,
Mm-hmm.
that any celestial rock or space bound rock
Mm-hmm.
would not be making, and
Without help or
without
assistance.
help. And the images that show possible rockets and just all the things. And for people to be like, oh, that's not true, and aliens don't exist and all this shit. It's like, how, I don't know. I'm to the point where I think if people at this point aren't awake,
Mm,
there's no us waking them up at this
right.
point.
Right.
Because how can you if you're that ignorant?
But and here's another thing where we kind of round back to the AI though, because like now a lot of the footage that's coming out, it's so realistic that even if it is real, let's say we caught the government covering up something
Hmm.
and they showed video, they're no, that's AI. Like how hard is that to do? How hard is it to just be like, no, that's not real, it's AI.
Yep. 100%, man. And that's one of the things I was been saying for the last 2 years. It's like this shit's going to get so good that we aren't going to know what reality is except for what our guts tell us.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You can't, as of right now, AI doesn't capture realistic emotion very well. It doesn't. It's just not. It's very obviously just stagnant. There's no like emotion to the images. Like a laugh looks like a laugh, but it doesn't look like the character is actually happy. It's just a laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Um, that's where it's at right now, but I see it getting there very, very soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Scary.
know, man. It is.
Mhm.
Well, what a nice, heartfelt, and joyful note to end this on.
Uh huh.
We're
It's
all
good.
doomed.
This is good. This is a lot of fun because I mean, we just hit live and started talking.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I definitely willing to do it again, man.
Well, I am off the 29th through the 7th.
Good for you,
So
man.
if you have any time during that time that you would
I
like to
do.
do stuff, or even next week when you're sitting around, if you feel
Yeah.
like it, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Let's
We should do something with Stan. Actually, I was thinking about doing like a New Year's Eve Singed special. It doesn't have to be on New Year's, but like close to it, like something.
Dude, I'm not. I'm not out on New Year's. I have stopped performing on New Year's. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
The money would have to be or
Yeah.
Durger
I'm
like
yeah. I'm
for
thinking
me.
about doing like a marathon of stuff on New Year's Eve, kind of leading up and into the new day.
Okay,
So if you're interested in doing something like that with us,
I'm not going to be anywhere else but home. So
yeah.
yeah, count me in, dude.
You know your wife could come on some of these.
She could, but she's so innocent and wholesome. I don't know. She truly is. Like she is. She's one of God's favorite kids because
And
she's such a sweetie.
mhm. She'll sit next to you on some of the shows, just listening, and she'll still throw in her 2 cents during the shows.
Mhm.
That's fun.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, she has some interesting thoughts on stuff, and I mean, she gets down with some of the conspiracy stuff too. You know, and it's fun because it's just like with the moon landing thing.
Mhm.
When I'll point out something like, "Oh, there's no blast crater underneath the lander. That is a 10,000 foot-pound thrust engine, and that is a planet with no atmosphere covered by dust, and it's just flat underneath the lander." I actually had somebody tell me, like, "Well, maybe the wind blew it back into place."
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, all the wind on the planet with no atmosphere. I mean, the moon with no atmosphere. Okay.
Mhm. That's great. On that note, everybody, until next time, we'll see you guys around.